Hello everybody, welcome back to Lizzie's Creations. I'm making this video here especially for a girlfriend who has just invested in the MISTI stamp positioning tool and also the Distress Oxide pads. Both are my favorites, and today I discovered how to make one of my favorite techniques, which is a Japanese style called Sumi-E, and I wanted just to create the video so she can see it and hopefully you can try it out. So I'm going to be using the Hero Arts polyclear stamps. This particular one was released in about March, I think, at the CHA in USA, and it was one of their very popular koi fish layered stamp systems. We're going to use the Distress Oxide stamp pad. This one here is frayed burlap, and the highlight will be worn lipstick, spray bottle. And what we're doing is Sumi-E is a kind of an artistic, simple style of artwork the Japanese and the Chinese do. And what it is they use images that look like they've just been, smudged on and all that, but it looks really artistic, and it's actually simple. To me, it's very hard to do. So today when I stumbled over this technique, I thought, yes, let's do this and let's show how easy it's done. So here what I've done is created multiple cards, because it was so easy with the MISTI, stamping off, and I'll show this to you, the actual rubber stamped image after taking it off the wood mount and putting it onto easy mount. That makes it easier to use in the MISTI, or using an acrylic block. It's up to you how you want to do it. Okay, so I'm using cards which have been purchased already, folded and ready to rock and roll. All right, so I'll put that aside and show you how this is done. So firstly, I need to position the card so that we know where we are working, what our parameters are. So there you go. I'll put that down, secure it with the magnet, and work out where I want to place the rubber stamp words. And I think, let me just check this out. Yep, with Asian stamps or characters, you need to know which way is up, or else it looks really silly. Alright, so there you go, and that's to position it where I want it. Now, because this has actually got foam on it, I'm taking the foam sheet out from the MISTI stamping tool itself. Am I doing this right? Yes, I am. Alright, and using the frayed burlap Distress Oxide ink stamp pad, I'm just going to ink it up like so. Alright, and it, if you're fussy like I am, you can always re-ink the second piece. Sorry, the second time, to give it a darker effect. Alright, so just like that. Okay, now so if you wanted to make multiple cards, let's say for argument's sake, it's just a case of everything's set up already. Just re-ink things, and you see I'm not being too careful, and I'm not being too fussy with placement and all that, because it's already done when you set it up the first time. Alright, so you could keep going. You know, sometimes I make cards in batches of 10 or 20. You know, it just depends what you need. So here I use baby wipes to wipe off clean off the stamp and remove it to use it at another time. Okay, now next image I want to use is the fish. Now in this situation I'm actually using the fish. You'll see that one, make it easier to see like that, that's the shadow, that's the detail, and that's the highlight. So I'm going to use the shadow now. Right now, because these fish stamps are clear poly stamps with no foam behind it, we need to use the foam matte back again in the MISTI. Alright, and then choosing placement, how and where I want it. Let's put it here, this way, yeah, over there. Alright, so it's as easy as that. Alright, position it down so you know exactly where you want it. Right, so this is the fun bit. Using a craft mat, all I'm going to do is you know, really detailed here, not alright, it's just use the frayed burlap stamp it onto the craft sheet mat, whatever you call it, and then using a spray bottle which just has normal water, spraying it on using a paintbrush, you know, just activating the stamp oxide ink, and then just painting it simply, no detail or anything, onto the fish, right? And it is wet, as you can see. Stamping it down firmly, pressing. Ta-da! And if it's not as dark as you'd like it, all you do is just grab a bit more, and that's the beauty of the MISTI stamp positioner situation. It gives you an opportunity to redo things and not worry that you've missed out bits and all that. See how beautiful that is? Now if you wanted to make certain parts darker, like the tip of this tail, say for argument's sake, you know, I just put a little bit more on the image, and say if you want the light source to come from a certain part and you want another part a bit darker, you can be as fussy as you want. It's a very forgiving technique. There you go. See the darker part there? Love this, I really do. Alright, so what I do is I make multiples of this, and you can just see how simple. I just love the simplicity involved here. You know, I'm not the most artistic or best person with coloring, even when coloring with Copics and all that, you know, challenging at the best of times. I have to practice and make sure the right colors complement each other. But when you're doing this kind of a technique, you can just use like black and water it down so it's a gray, and then love that. Look at that. So yeah, so as simple as that. Nothing too complicated. Yeah, I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do the highlights. Just using a wet wipe, and that's how simple it is to, well, how lazy I am to clean it off. Right, and that will be set aside to use later. Now I need the the section of the fish, which is the embellishing the highlighted section. I'm going to do this on a card that's dry, because when it dries, when it dries, it changes the tone a bit, and sometimes it comes out lighter, sometimes darker. It just depends. And that's another thing I like about these oxides. You never know what you're going to get. Alright, so I'm using a lighter one. Alright, so taking the section which is the detail part, placing it down upon the stamped image, and you can control where you want it to happen. Some people like it a little bit further forward, some like it a little bit back. It's up to you, but you can see where you've put things. Alright, okay, so now I'm going to actually use direct to stamp with the stamp pad. And I'm just going to tidy it up here a bit because I don't want any mistakes or smudges. Now when you press hard, the foam behind pushes up, so it gives it a good image onto your cardstock. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All the details there. Really nice. Alright, try the next one. And once you've set it up, it's all good to go with the other ones that you've done ahead of time, because they're all basically in the same spot. Stamp positioner, you know. Now I have bursitis, which is arthritis in the shoulders, so I find this stamp positioner helps heaps for me. There you go. Very nice indeed. So that's as easy as it is. You know, if you want to do the highlighting and on an artistic piece, whether it's 1 or 2 stamped items, or you know, half a dozen or a dozen, 2 dozen, MISTI definitely makes life easier. Especially now that I can do SumiE Technique, I'm so happy. Alright, so what's happened, what I'm going to do now, I want to show you that I want to change the, I want to make this into 2 fish, like almost like a opposing yin and yang kind of situation. So what I've done is here I'm positioning the other shadow stamp back like that. Yeah, I like that spot. Okay, so shut it down. Yep, there it is. Okay, now I need to go back to the earlier stamped oxide ink pad with the water brush, not water brush, the water and the paintbrush. Ta-da! There it is. Let's do it again. A bit more. Gorgeous. That one's a little bit lighter, which is great. And then what happens is we'll redo the detail stamp. I mean, obviously you could do like, you know, a dozen or 2 on top of that. Apologies, my head getting in the way. Like so. Okay, then direct the stamp pad onto the stamp. Some people don't even wipe down the background and the smudge bits and they get a great result. I'm a little bit OCD and I need to appease my mind to make sure I lessen the chances of buggering it up. There you go. You know, it's just so gorgeous. Alright. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed watching that little recreation of this Oriental themed card. Do try playing with your oxide, Distress Oxide pads with a bit of water, paintbrush, you know. Think laterally, have fun. Alright? Okay. I'll catch you the next time. See you then. Bye.